Welcome back, colleagues. We are moving away from grade 7. Now we are going to deal with grade 8. Since we know that grade 8 and grade 9, these are learners that are moving from the primary to the high school. So these learners need your attention in terms of supporting them. So we are going to look at the content in terms of grade 8. The topics that were there in grade 8 in term 1, 2, 3, and 4, they are still the same. We still have map skills, climatic regions, settlement, transport, and trade in grade 8. Then in terms of term 1 amendments, here in term 1, there are no specific amendments that were done in terms of this topic of map skills, but what we have done is to try and reorganize the content by ensuring that the content of scale is moved from week 5 to week 2. Then the topic of latitude and longitude is a prerequisite for the knowledge of the hemisphere and world time zones, which is treated in week 5. Then in term 2, under climatic regions, we've got two aspects, factors that influence temperature and South African climate. Here we've reorganized the weeks from week 1 to week 6. The reason of reorganizing here is to ensure that when we treat the content, we are not treating only the content, but we need to add the skills in terms of assisting the learners to understand. For example, when it comes to issues of rainfall, when you teach about the area, you need to talk about a particular province and align it to say, like for example, in the Western Cape, they receive their rainfall around May, June, and so on. So it is critical to look at a particular province and align it with the content. So that is why there has been realignment of the entire weeks in term 2. Then we are moving to term 3. In term 3, the settlement, under settlement, we've got rural and the land use. Here we have reorganized content for content flow, where we have moved rural settlements from week 2 to week 1 and moved the land use from week 1 to week 2 and 3. In terms of term number 4, where we're dealing with transport and trade, there are no amendments there. In terms of history, history has got 4 different terms as well, with the Industrial Revolution in term 1, Mineral Revolution in term 2, Scramble for Africa, and the World War I in term 4. In terms of term 1, under the changes during Industrial Revolution, we have removed wealth from slave trade since it is covered in grade 7, term number 2. Then the subtopic why gold is valuable, we have removed that because it is covered in grade 6 under the topic Mapungube, trade, and even in grade 7 under transatlantic slaves. In terms of the second term under Mineral Revolution, we have got mining of gold. Under mining of gold, we have removed the content mining of gold because the same skills that were acquired in week 1 in the very same term when we're dealing with diamond mining still applies to the part of mining of gold. So under impact of migration and labor, we have removed this content, and we have not removed the content, but we have reorganized the content for content flow. In term 3, under Scramble for Africa, the content has been removed. The topic was dealt with in grade 5. Under indigenous people built their economy around farming. So, and also in grade 7 under the topic, the Kingdom of Mali. In the 4th term, the World War I, 1914 to 1918, this has been reorganized. Week 1, where World War I has been brought back to grade 8, term 4, as it links with the topic World War II in grade 9. We all remember that when we were under COVID, we had challenges of the content overload where we had to move certain topics from one grade to the other. So this topic has been brought back to where it belongs. So there will be no any challenges wherein you find that there's grade 8 content in grade 9. So in grade 8, World War I, it's back where it was. Then in terms of grade 9, under geography, term 1, we still have topographic and orthophoto maps. We still have development issues. We still have surface forces that shape the earth, and we still have resources and sustainability. Under map skills, what we have done, we only targeted the topographical maps and contour lines and orthophoto, where we try to reorganize the content to ensure that there's better flow of the topic. Here, we have moved content from week 2 to week 7, including the control lines in week 3. And orthophoto maps have been reorganized for from week 8 to week 9. Under development issues, there and in this topic we have got opportunities for development. The part where it talks to more equitable trading has been removed in week 6 to ensure curriculum coverage. In term 3, under surface of the earth, we have got erosion and deposition under rivers. We have reorganized the content where we have streamlined it throughout from week 4 to week 6. Week 4, 5, and 6, where we talk about waterfalls, rapids, meanders, and so on. All this content has been reorganized in the third term. That will assist greater clarity for the learners. In term 4, we have got resources and sustainability. Under sustainability, we use the sustainable use of resources and food security. These are the subtopic that we have tried to focus on them by trying to remove the role of consumers, businesses, and government in choosing more sustainable resources for use. So here, this focus will only be dealt with in week number 4. Then in terms of food security, the local, global, and regional examples were removed to reduce content load in term 4 in grade 8. So here, the reason why some of the content has been removed and reorganized is to assist content flow, because we understand that in high school, we've got learners that are doing their grades for the first time, and most teachers will be focusing on the FET and sometimes neglecting the GET. So we had to try and reorganize our content so that teachers can be able to deal with that. In terms of geography grade 9, the history grade 9, the causes and outbreak in 1919 to 1945 is still the same. The nuclear age is still the same. The turning point in modern South African history since 1948, the turning points in South African history 1960 to 1976 and 1990, it's still the same. In terms of term 1, World War II, what we did is we reorganized the ATP. As I've indicated in grade 8, that there was work that was moved from grade 8 to grade 9 and vice versa. So what we did now is to move back grade 8 term 4 work, which was excluded there, back to grade 8. So there's chronological sequence of events now in terms of timeline. This serves as a link and introduction to World War II in 1919 to 1945. So content was moved to grade 9 to recover the learning loss. So that what happened in 2021 and 2022 does not apply anymore. So the content is where it belongs in terms of both the grades, grade 8 and 9. Under term 2, we have reorganized the content where the World War II in the Pacific has been moved to week 9 in term 1. It serves as a link between World War II and the nuclear age. In terms of the arms race, it is a foundational content and is covered in week 2. The end of the Cold War is covered in week 8, and the layout and flow of content will promote coverage and implementation in terms of term 2. In term 3, under turning points, we have reorganized the content, and the 1960 formation of the PAC of 1959 is still there. The Sharpeville massacre has been reorganized, it's still there. The Langer March has been moved back from term 3 to its original place. Then there is a project to be administered, as we know, in term 3 for for this topic, wherein we need to make sure that we introduce the project at the beginning of the term. And in the ATP, it is clearly clarified correctly that what needs to be done when in terms of the weeks, and the teacher must ensure that he monitors the learners continuously throughout the term so that submission is done on time and revision is done as well. In terms of term 4, the turning points, this week we tried to reduce the week of term 4, the weeks in term 4, because we all know that term 4 is the most shortest term ever, Once the learners in the NSC in grade 12, they start writing exams, that most of the time affects our grade 9 and grade 8 in the high schools. So what we did is to try and ensure that the content is packaged in such a way that a teacher is able to work on his content between 5 and 6 weeks so that everything is covered. In terms of the biographies of Joseph and Lillian Goyi, there's a choice between the two. So teachers will be able to deal with that. So this actually takes us to the end of the second phase of our presentation in terms of the content. We are going on an ad break. Then when we come back, we'll be focusing on the amendments in terms of school-based assessment.